Hello, Brother Aelred Senna here from St. John's Abbey, and I'm pleased to be with you again for another in our series of meatless Lenten recipes. Today we're going to make a dish called Mujadara, which is a dish of rice with lentils that originates in Lebanon. We're going to start with a nice hot pan and a goodly amount of olive oil. This is about a half a cup, so it is plenty of oil. I didn't use quite all of it there. And now that oil is shimmering and hot, so I'm going to add in some whole cumin seed and some cracked black peppercorns. I just put them in a mortar and pestle and kind of smashed them up. Or you can put them in a Ziploc bag and take your rolling pin to them, whatever works for you. But we're going to toast them just a little bit here first, and this not only toasts those seeds, but it flavors this oil. So the oil of this cumin and black pepper is now infusing into this oil, and I have that hefty quantity of oil because the next thing I'm going to do is take my onions, and I have about 3 medium onions here, a combination of white and purple. The recipe that you'll see calls for the purple onions. I didn't have enough purple onions, so I've got some of each. And we're just going to stir those around and get them all coated with that beautiful, flavorful oil and those spices that are mixed in there. And we're going to let them cook here and caramelize. They will cook down and become quite small compared to what we have in our pan now, and they'll get beautifully brown and caramelized. That's going to take, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 minutes. Just be patient. You can have your oil at a rather high heat to start, but then once your onions are in, you can turn that down to probably not higher than about medium and let them caramelize. So they're stirred together well. I'm now going to back away and just let them sit for a few minutes, and I'll come back and stir them some more. My onions are starting to look really beautiful. As they cook down and get soft, they're not fully caramelized yet, but as they cook down and get soft, I'm going to add just a couple of pinches of salt to them. And they have still a good amount of oil here in the pan, but also the onions have released some of their water, so we have to let all of that cook down. The salt will also help with the caramelization process. If you haven't used as much oil as I did and your onions start to stick, you can just give them a splash or two of water, and that will keep the process going without anything burning. You can see that my onions have taken on some beautiful color. I can leave them here another couple of minutes, or I think I might just say that we're good enough to go. So I am going to take out about a third or to as many as half of these onions and reserve them to one side because they are going to be for garnishing the finished dish. You want to be sure you have some of those beautiful onions to go on top of the rice at the end. Now to the onions that are left in my pan along with my still some oil, I'm going to add just a pinch of cayenne pepper and a cinnamon stick, and I'm going to stir those around with my onions. The cayenne pepper is 100% optional. It's really just a pinch, so it's not going to add a lot of crazy heat to your dish. It's up to you whether you want to keep it or not. Now that I've stirred that in, I'm going to add my rice. I like to use basmati rice here. This is about a cup, anywhere from 3/4 of a cup to a cup. And we're going to stir that around and toast it a bit with the onions and cinnamon and pepper there. If you don't have basmati, you can use any long grain rice, just long grain white rice or jasmine rice, anything like that that you probably have in your cupboard. It's nice to have still some of that oil in the pan from the onions because that helps us toast our rice. All right, I've let my rice toast a little bit here. You won't be able to see the rice turn golden because of all the other things that are in the pan. What you will see is the grains of rice will become a little more opaque. You'll see them turn whiter than they were when you first put them in. That's telling you that they have really begun to toast. And so now it's time to put in the lentils. Now, in full disclosure, I need to tell you that I boiled my lentils earlier this morning. This was about a cup of lentils that I boiled. I covered them with water by about an inch and let them boil for about 20 minutes and then drained them. And so these lentils are ready to go. It's something you can do a day ahead or earlier in the morning. I did try to look for some canned lentils and didn't find any such thing. I don't know if they make them. If they do make them and you can find them, you can use them. But I just boiled these for about 20 minutes, and I'm going to add them to my pot and stir them together with my rice and my half of my onions. Boy, does that look good. Now to this mixture, my lentils are cooked, but my rice is not. So to this mixture, I need to add the liquid that the rice needs for cooking. This is about a cup of rice, so I'm adding just a little over 2 cups of vegetable stock to this. I'll stir that together. Be sure that all of my grains of rice are down in the liquid. Try to get my cinnamon stick buried in there so that flavor comes out in this cooking liquid. And then I'm going to cover that and watch for it to come up to a good simmer. And then I'll turn down the heat and let it cook for about 20 minutes, which is the length of time that it should take that rice to cook. And then we'll be ready to garnish it with our onions and a little splash of lemon juice and maybe a little bit of Greek yogurt. Woo! It smells good, and we're going to keep going. I think we're about ready. Yes, it's beautiful. I'm just going to fluff it here with the fork. I'm going to grab out my cinnamon stick because nobody wants to eat that. But it looks great. So I'll serve it up into my serving dish. Look at that beautiful rice with lentils and onions. And I am just going to be sure that my burner is turned off. I have enough in my bowl, so I'm going to leave the rest here and pull it off the heat. These are our onions that we saved back, as you'll recall. So I'm going to garnish this dish with them on top. And just a little parsley for beauty. And a spritz of lemon juice over the whole thing. And there we are. I am so excited to try this mujadara. I'm going to eat it with just a simple salad. I've got some greens here. I'm going to add some pita chips that I baked up to make this into a fattoush salad. Dress it with a little vinaigrette that I pulled together. So this, along with your lentils and rice would make a lovely, complete meal. I love fattoush because I love these pita chips in with my salad. Here is some of my beautiful Mujadara with great onions on top. And I'm going to have that with just a little bit of some Greek yogurt dolloped on top. Look at that. There you go. That is a Friday supper in Lent, if ever I saw one. Just a bite of salad. And a bite of my rice. Oh my gosh, is that good? I can taste the cinnamon from that one cinnamon stick, and it's so good with the freshness of that fresh lettuce all in your mouth together. There's crunch. It's delightful. Give it a try and enjoy it.